What if you ran into John Goodman at a grocery store today and walked right past him because you didn't recognize him? That's essentially what happened when actor David DeLucy shared a casual selfie with the 74-year-old Hollywood legend, and the internet immediately noticed just how dramatically Goodman has changed. But here's the thing, this isn't a sudden transformation, and the real story goes far deeper than one surprising photograph. DeLucy, best known for playing Jerry Russo on Wizards of Waverly Place, apparently crossed paths with Goodman while shopping and posted the selfie on Instagram. He called Goodman a childhood legend, and the photo showed the two actors smiling together in a completely ordinary supermarket aisle. Yet within hours, much of the attention shifted away from the unexpected celebrity encounter and toward Goodman's dramatically slimmer appearance. And that's where this story gets much more interesting. Goodman has publicly discussed his weight struggles for years, including periods when he approached 400 pounds and repeatedly lost large amounts of weight only to gain it back. By 2023, he had said he'd lost about 200 pounds as part of a transformation that began more than a decade earlier. So the photo circulating now isn't really the beginning of the story. It's another snapshot of a journey that has taken years. One of the biggest turning points came in 2007, when Goodman stopped drinking and entered treatment. In a 2012 interview, he described decades of alcoholism as increasingly debilitating and said he reached a point where continuing the same way felt like a matter of life or death. His sobriety became a major part of rebuilding his lifestyle, and he has continued to speak openly about that decision. But giving up alcohol wasn't the only change. Goodman has explained that his old relationship with food was deeply connected to the same cycle. He described constantly eating, making repeated attempts to lose weight, and then celebrating a successful diet by returning to old habits, including drinking. In 2016, he said he wanted to approach weight loss differently this time, more slowly, with exercise and a lifestyle he could actually maintain. That distinction matters. This wasn't presented as some overnight Hollywood makeover or a secret shortcut. Goodman has talked about eating smaller portions, exercising and using an elliptical machine, while earlier reports also described his focus on diet and regular workouts. Most importantly, he was trying to break the pattern of extreme dieting followed by returning to his old routine. And there was another motivation: work. Goodman spent years taking on demanding projects, including the Roseanne revival and its follow-up series, The Conners. He explained that as he got older, he couldn't afford to simply sit still, and that becoming more active gave him the energy needed for a profession he described as physically draining. That may sound simple, but for someone dealing with decades of unhealthy habits, consistency can be much harder than making one dramatic change. What's also important is what we don't know. Goodman's current weight has not been publicly established, and the viral photograph doesn't prove exactly how much weight he weighs today. The widely reported figure of roughly 200 pounds comes from Goodman's own comments about his long-term weight loss, rather than a new measurement taken from this photograph. There has also been plenty of speculation online about exactly how Goodman achieved his latest appearance, but there's no verified evidence from Goodman that he used a particular weight loss medication. That's worth emphasizing because a dramatic before and after image can make people assume they know the entire story when they really don't. What Goodman himself has consistently discussed is sobriety, changing his eating habits, exercise, and maintaining a healthier lifestyle over time. And maybe that's the biggest takeaway from the reaction to this photograph. For decades, John Goodman was known for playing big, unforgettable characters, from Dan Connor on Roseanne to Walter Sobchak in The Big Lebowski, and his size was sometimes treated as part of his public image. Now, years into a personal transformation, people are seeing the same actor through a completely different lens. The fascinating part is that Goodman hasn't built this story around becoming somebody else. He's talked about wanting to live better, feel better, and have enough energy to keep working. And even after years of progress, he has acknowledged that maintaining healthy habits isn't always a straight line. That's what makes this less like a celebrity makeover and more like a long-term personal battle. So when that grocery store selfie appeared, it may have looked like a shocking transformation happening right before our eyes. In reality, it was the latest chapter in a journey that began nearly 2 decades ago, when Goodman decided that the habits he'd lived with for years could no longer continue. The image may have caught everyone's attention, but the story behind it is about something much bigger than appearance, changing a life one decision at a time. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Prime Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.